All right, collective. This is part 3. It's been a while since I've done a part 3. I don't know what's going on. I've only had like 13 minutes available. Actually, this one is 12:25. There's something about that. There's something about things happening in phases and in series. So I would definitely watch them in order, but hey, maybe you're supposed to only see certain parts of this. So the last reading I was talking about 1010, which is the frequency of completion and the start, new beginnings, right? Binary code 1010, right? Also, when things close out, these new beginnings, when we reach a 10, we start again with 1 and 2, right? So there's something about that. A cycle's closing out, a cycle is starting. And I've been talking about in the last readings about how somebody had heavy burdens and they were holding themselves back by these burdens, okay? And it could have been a mindset where you were holding yourself back or somebody was holding yourself back. In the very last part 2 ending, I was talking about somebody was almost like punishing themselves. Somebody was like, they were telling themselves, no, not yet, not till I have everything ready. Somebody was focused on like too much money, resources, finances, like not having enough, instead of embracing what they had. And in this specific deck, as I say, I read intuitively. I'm guided to certain decks or certain readings, certain messages, right, and how I interpret the cards. In this sun card particularly, the cat, she looks like it's painful. This is the best card in the deck. But why does she look like this blessing that's coming in is painful, is burdensome? So this message is coming across very strong for somebody to not sabotage their blessing. And it's bringing me back to what literally I was just saying to my son right before this. I realized that he does this. He likes to kind of play devil's advocate. He gets kind of like when something is very beautiful that's coming in, he tries to sabotage it with his words and his beliefs, like, no, it's not too good to be true. And I was literally telling him, like, you were just trying to sabotage our beautiful new beginning. You need to be careful what you say with your words. Maybe for some of you, it's certain people that are surrounding you. That's why sometimes you don't share your business, you don't share your beautiful things, because people will shoot them down out of jealousy, out of envy, and it's like he's part of this new beautiful beginning. So I don't know why he's trying to sabotage it by trying to say things like, no, it's not going to happen, or we're not approved. Like I literally told him today, we're approved for something. And instead he's like, no, but we're not. He's trying to tell people, well, we might not. Da, da, da. I'm like, why are you sitting there doing that? Why is it a mindset, is a belief system? And I know that a lot of it's because he's very anxious, he's very excited because what we've been working for. Like, I think it's him trying to make sure that all of these things are going to be in a row. But maybe this is an aspect of you or somebody surrounding you. Take it however this message is resonating with you. But it's like sometimes you can't wait for everything to be in alignment for things to work out perfectly for you. Sometimes you got to take the first step. You know, like maybe you don't fully put down all of the burdens. Maybe you put down a few burdens and then some others, you know, or maybe you do need to just put them all down and start over. Okay. But there's something here with the 3 of Swords coming out with the 7. Why did I say 7? What? 7 of Swords. Maybe somebody has some sort of fear. You know, because I'm not picking up like lies and deception with that particular 7 of Swords. I was feeling it's fear. Somebody is doing something fear-based, you know. And I even said with the Sun, maybe somebody's fearing having to walk away. You know, it can be scary walking away from what you know. And a lot of times, what is it? People also get FOMO. Is that what it's called? The abbreviation or whatever, I think is what the New Age is saying. FOMO, fear of missing out. So there's this energy, but see, right underneath this 8 of Cups is the 6 of Wands, is victory and success, but it comes at an ending. So somebody is afraid of ending something because it leads to a new beginning. Okay, but it can be scary because maybe you don't know the outcomes, right? It's like being comfortable in something. Maybe you're comfortable, say it's like a job, for instance. You're comfortable in a job, right? So you get offered a new job and you're like, well, I don't want to let go of this job that I'm secure with because I know it, I know what to expect. It's providing me comfort, security, stability. To go on this new job, I'm taking a risk here because I'm going to have to let go of all of this. There's a strong energy here. You know, and I've been saying maybe somebody's in something because they're like, oh, the money's good. Yeah, this isn't my dream job, this isn't my hobby or whatever, but it's making me a lot of money. And what was I just showing in the last reading with the 9 of fishes? That cat sitting there with 9 different plates with fishes on it. Like, it's more than that particular person. You know, she's all by herself at that table, though. Like, you can have, like, if you haven't figured this world out, sometimes having all the money, resources, and finances, but if you have no one to share those with, then what's the point of having all of that? So somebody's been focused too much on money, resources, finances, and sometimes if we put those above others, we'll lose all of those. Just to remember, it's not always about having the money, the resources, and the finances if you don't have those to celebrate with you, you know? Right? Okay. 550 came out on the timer. There's something with that. Let's get a few more cards. I was already picking it up. Like, that's a wrap. I feel like now I finally got the final message out here in part 3, but we'll pull a few more cards from this cute deck. Yeah, look, the tower's coming out. Look at the kitties getting struck out the tower. Ooh, she got X's on her eyes, but he's gonna make it. Maybe somebody is, like, not gonna make it. I don't know. Something has to end for this new beginning is what I'm getting. And it doesn't mean a physical death. It could mean the death of a cycle situation. There's strongly somebody has to put some sort of burdens down for this new beginning. Maybe somebody has to agree to some sort of collaboration. You know, sometimes we want to do something so much on our own and it was never meant to be. Because with the 3 of fishes here, the 3 of pentacles, it's collaboration. So for some of you, like, it is meant for you to work with somebody, a team. Maybe you are trying to get something done on your own. It's not meant to. Or with a specific person. In the previous readings, I was showing how once something is illuminated, as the cat was illuminating the light and it was showing what was in a room, and it was literally a toilet, right? And I was like, somebody thought that what they were going after was, you know, like, I don't know what they thought was in there, but when they realized that, wow, this is just a bathroom, it was almost just like, this was just like another level. Like, I'm getting like labyrinth energy. Like, you were on a cycle, you were on a level. Something was only meant to get you so far. Maybe you were trying to make it your end all be all. It was never supposed to be. It was just a level. It was a cycle. It was a pattern. But now you need to know, maybe you weren't supposed to build off that specific pattern. Maybe you were just supposed to experience that situation, but now it is time for advancement. But now you need a new perspective. Now you need to realize what it was, okay? And it's like that with people. Sometimes people come into our lives. Oh, now they're showing me the 7 of Swords. See, I told you I was feeling that energy. I read intuitively. That's why sometimes I may talk about cards that ain't there. Right? So there is a 7 of Swords energy here. And look at how cute. She's wearing a mask with those swords on her back, like a thief. Maybe for some of you, you had to be deceptive, right? Because the 7 of Swords can also be about being strategic, strategizing. Remember how I was saying to be careful about who you tell your plans to, what you do, because people could be trying to come after you. But maybe this is energy of somebody's been too sneaky or too hiding of energy, okay? Because there's this energy of needing to collaborate as well. Okay, but the 7 of Swords is coming out. So, but see the Hanged Man, look, she's all tied up in her yarn here. Maybe somebody got caught up in their secrecies or what was hidden. And I always say, that's why you shouldn't worry about what's hidden. What's hidden will always come to light. It's the duality of this world. Whatever's heavy and dark, it's going to be, light's going to shine upon it. Whatever you try to hide comes right up. So, you know, maybe this is the burdens of someone's been trying to hide things and it's going to be getting exposed, but maybe it's getting exposed to show you that those were just cycles and patterns. Those are things that you need to let go of, and sometimes it's literally things within yourself. Like, that's why you're meant to face your fears. We not realize that in this world by now. When you fear something, what you fear persists. What if you don't want to experience something or you have a fear of it, it's going to force you to experience it. You know? So there's this energy, maybe you need to face your fears. It's going to keep coming about. The Knight of Swords is coming out with the Tower. Okay. It's the Hanged Man. Alright. So there's a Tower moment coming with the Knight of Swords. Is about communication. It's quick, it's swift, it's also fast movement and change. The Knight of Swords can put you in an energy of needing to make some sort of quick, realization, change, strategy. Like literally a tower could fall down and all of a sudden you're like, all right, now I've got to make changes. Like this could literally be like all of a sudden maybe something happens and now you got to quickly, like you lose a job or something like that, or you find out that, you know, now your job's downsizing, you're losing your, you know what I mean? So you have to make some sort of quick movement, but it's really happening to move you. And that's why sometimes these tower moments do come to realign us where we're meant to be, and especially following Lionsgate energy. Okay, it's about destiny realignments and getting you back in alignment with your true calling. So that's why a lot of things get shaken up. I love Lionsgate. I love this time. And a lot of people are getting the awakening and the realization, and they're healing their patterns. Oh my gosh, this has got to be the most beautiful Four of Swords I've ever seen. This Four of Swords, which is about healing, she looks like she is elevating. All of those pain, all of those swords in her back representing the pain and all the things that she went through, like she's realizing that they have elevated her. So this is somebody that's realizing these cycles, these patterns, the pain that you have went through actually forged you into exactly who you are at this moment. Like, have you ever realized that the pain and the situations and your trials and your tribulations that you go through forge you into the soul that you are? You know, that's why we go through these cycles where people take advantage and use it. That's why they're allowed to do that, because you know how powerful it is when you overcome those situations and you get that self-empowerment, you get that confidence, and you learn how to defend, how empowering it feels. I was talking about in a reading a couple days ago about how empowering it is when you start to say no, and when every time that you say no to somebody, that's saying yes to yourself, and how empowering no is. So if you were a people pleaser before, or you were one where you often said no to people, how powerful it is to start saying, or you always said yes to people. When you start to say no to people, you're saying yes to yourself finally, and how powerful it is and how good it makes you feel. And this is somebody that is starting to embrace their shadow side, and maybe that was a part of this, to teach you to not do things in the shadows, to do things more out in the open. So maybe that Seven of Swords is about you bringing your strategy to light. And I'm out of time, so take a look at those previous readings and definitely check out